Okay, welcome to a new episode of Nate's MMA Corner. I'm Nate, and if you watch my show, you're in my corner. Today's episode is a post-fight show for UFC Fight Night, Henderson versus Shogun, and Shogun versus Henderson, however you want to say it, part 2, the rematch. It was a good rematch, and yeah, we'll do a rundown of the main card, so let's get started with the main event, which was obviously Dan Henderson versus Mauricio Shogun Hua, the rematch in a light heavyweight bout, a 5-round fight. This fight went to round 3. It didn't go all 5 rounds like the last match. And it was first 2 rounds of Shogun. I actually picked Shogun to win this fight. I counted out Dan Henderson. And Dan Henderson was able to get that strong right hand to land in the 3rd round. And it was a good fight, good finish for Dan Henderson, good back on track match for him. So now he has 2 wins over Shogun, winning a unanimous decision victory in the first match. And yeah, it was only a minute and 31 seconds TKO punches round 3. It was a good fight. Shogun, he was landing more in the first 2 rounds, and he was doing good in grappling and clinches in the first couple rounds, and yeah, but Dan Henderson, he weathered the storm, and Dan Henderson barely survived those first 2 rounds, and Shogun just got caught in that 3rd round. That sums up that match. Then on to the co-main event, which was CB Dollaway versus Cesar Ferreira. I was also wrong about this match. I counted out CB Dollaway. I thought Cesar Ferreira is a big deal in the middleweight division now, and he's going to steamroll through everyone. He's Vitor Belfort's apprentice, and he is a beast. He's well-rounded. But CB Dollaway caught him early, and just wouldn't let go. It was only... yeah, TKO punches 39 seconds into the first round. Really put CB Dollaway back on track, and was a good win for CB. Wow, CB is a veteran. You know, he's known as a wrestler, and his striking's getting better over the years. And yeah, he wrestled in Arizona in college. Yeah, he's definitely getting more well-rounded now, so I definitely got to think twice before counting him out of a match. And that was, yeah, in the middleweight division. Then, in the lightweight division, we had Leonardo Santos versus Norman Park. Yeah, there was a lot of controversy with this match. It was a majority draw. And I believe it was, Norman Park that was getting deducted. Yeah, he was... yeah, Park was being deducted a point, and had that not happened... yeah, had that not happened, then you would definitely have seen Park probably win. Well, obviously win. Yeah, I would have picked... probably Norman Park on this one, because I do think he is a big deal in the lightweight division. But yeah, this fight was back and forth. Could have gone either way. And then with the point deduction, looks like Park would have won. There's a lot of grappling, striking, clinching. I felt like this card, the referees were somewhat questionable towards the non-Brazilian fighters, but who knows? A lot of people believe that the judges were, or the refs are. I felt like the refs and the judges questionable in their practices in this fight card, but overall nothing to make a big whoopla over. I think Norman Park should have won this match. But Leonardo Santos, he's a beast at lightweight. He's definitely a prospect to look at. There's so many great lightweight fighters out there that says something, but at the same time, it doesn't say a whole lot, because you really got to crack that top 10 to mean something in lightweight. Then, also on the main card, we had a light heavyweight bout with Fabio Maldonado and Gian Villante. Now, this fight, I went with Fabio Maldonado. I felt like he could easily win this fight by knockout and using his killer boxing and takedown defense. Plus, he's Brazilian, and this fight took place in Brazil. And Villante is definitely not a Brazilian. Fabio Maldonado, he always puts on somewhat entertaining fights. He can take a beating and he can give a beating. Yeah, Fabio Maldonado won by decision. It was, unanimous. Yeah, Fabio Maldonado, it was his teeing off, especially in round 2 and 3, against Villante, and Jean, he was able to take a beating and just keep going and going and going. A lot of people felt like that Jean won the first round, and then he was just getting tired, and Fabio was really pushing the pace after that and really going for the finish and really trying to win back the fight, and I think he did, and it was good to see a fighter go for it after losing the first round. Fighters have to be honest with themselves and say, I lost the first round or two, I got to go for it in the later rounds, and that's what Fabio Maldonado did. So good job, Fabio. We'll see more of him. And then also in the main card, in the lightweight division, we had Michael Prasaras versus Marbek Tasumov. Yeah, I gotta learn how to pronounce some of these names. Okay, well, this was a decision win for Prasaras. He's a good, talented fighter. This was pretty much a lot of stand-up. Punches landed more for Prasaras, and that sums up that fight. I felt like this one was not as entertaining as the rest of the card fight, I guess you could say. But it was a good win for Prasaras. Then to kick off the main card, we had Hani Jason versus Steven Seiler in a featherweight bout. Two highly touted prospects in featherweight. Hani Jason now, he's the guy that I think he could be a threat to anyone in featherweight. Yeah, he was definitely upset after losing to Jeremy Stephens in one of his last matches. And I was shocked by that one. I thought for sure Hani Jason would steamroll through Jeremy Stephens. Obviously, that wasn't the case. And Hani Jason wanted to get back on track. And what better way to do it than have a fight with Steven Seiler, who is a pretty tall, lengthy guy for a featherweight and a name in featherweight. That fight was only 1 minute and 17 seconds. It was TKO punches round 1. I do think the referee stopped this fight way too early. Way too early. Hani Jason was winning. He probably would have won the match anyways, but you got to give Steven Seiler a little bit more time to get back into it. He was waving to the referee, "Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop." Pretty much all that happened is he fell down. And the ref called off the match. So a lot of people were upset for the super early stoppage. But I think Hani Jason, he can defend the submissions from Steven Seiler anyways. And he has the heavy hands to knock out Steven Seiler. He's fast. I would say probably faster than Steven Siler. So, if anything, Honey Jason would have won drawn out decision. But still, you got to give Siler a chance, at least a few more seconds before stopping the fight. Come on, ref. So that wraps up the post-fight show for Shogun versus Henderson 2. Stay tuned for my next episode, which will be about Nelson versus Nogueira, taking place in Abu Dhabi, and you can watch it live on Fight Pass, which, if you don't have Fight Pass, you gotta get it. It's gonna be an amazing card. You got Clay Guida on the card, Ramsey Nijam, just a lot of great fighters on that card that are names in the UFC. So until then, see ya.